I am Effacer of the planet Gaia. My charge is to capture and punish those disrespectful of our written language. You, human, must help in my endeavors by traveling to the ravaged and barren prison planet of Yurgrik to sentence the incarcerated scourge that openly scorn our letters and words. Don't be defeated by difficult or unknown words. Concentrate and use the rules of language you have learned to solve the word puzzles. You will be rewarded with an expanding vocabulary and the knowledge that you are aiding me in the eradication of illiteracy. Our people have long respected the knowledge and wisdom that the written word brings. It is keeper of our past and pathway to the future. Through the written word, we grow as a people by studying the past and passing on the wisdom of our nature to our children. In it, we find ourselves. For millennia, the peaceful people of Gaia have prospered, secure in the constant exchange of knowledge enabled by the written word. But invaders from outside, who have no respect for the beauty, indeed even simple utility of language, came into our galaxy. They brought with them ignorance and sloth. They assaulted the very institution of language and threatened to disrupt our great society. I was elected to track down these illiterates, to capture and banish them to the desolate, barren prison planet of Yurgrik, which lies on the outskirts of our galaxy. As the quest to find and bring to justice these disruptive forces is never-ending, my energies are dispersed throughout the cosmos. And that is why I need your help to sentence these convicted aliens. I am honored in your choice to help me eradicate this scourge. You should know that these characters disdain both the order and freedom of language. And in their confinement, they have ravaged the planet of Yurgrik, made it virtually inhospitable to life. This disrespect must cease. Literacy and love for language must overcome their darkness. With your help, the written word will one day have no enemies, will again reign supreme throughout the galaxy. Then, perhaps, even the barren planet of Yurgrik may prosper and bloom as my home planet of Gaia. The rules of this game are quite simple, human. Before playing, each player can select the difficulty of the word puzzles and how much time is allotted for each guess. There are 5 difficulty levels, and many different time settings for making guesses, ranging from 5 seconds to 1 minute. Here are the rules. 1 or 2 players may play, with each player alternating turns. Each turn consists of 1 word puzzle. Each player gets at least 4 turns per game, with each turn consisting of at least 6 letter guesses. Players try to correctly spell the hidden word by guessing letters. Correctly guessing a letter maintains the number of available guesses. Correctly spelling a word maintains the number of available turns. Players must make letter guesses within the selected time frame, or they lose a guess. When a player is unable to solve a word within the given number of guesses or selected time frame, that player loses a turn. The game continues until the last remaining player loses his or her last turn. The objective of the game is to solve as many words as possible before running out of turns. If you wish to move through the rules, feel free to do so. Just click on the arrows on the bottom of the screen. When you are ready to select an opponent and begin the game, select the return emblem. What are your powers, human? What is your speed and stamina? The symbols along the weathered copper strip allow you to choose a level of difficulty. The simpler the symbol, the simpler the word puzzle. The more complex the symbol, the more difficult the puzzle. The energy field determines the time you are allowed for guesses. The larger the field, the more time. Click on a symbol or hit the plus or minus. Garden Koalifire comes from the distant planet Jumbalarium and a civilization lost in confusion. He changes the rules of language to serve his own needs. This he does by deliberately placing modifiers too far from the words they describe. He's a hopeless offender. Gon's long string of minor language crimes has led to major commotions in the galaxy. He recently said,
"The cannibals carried their offerings to the queen on sharp spears."
According to Gon's statement, the queen has been speared, and the cannibals simply carried their victims. Gon simply misplaced the modifier on sharp spears, making people think the spears referred to the queen instead of the victims. This confusion has thoroughly angered the queen. Gon admitted that he did not care to reform his ways, so don't shy away from condemning him, human. Here is the definition you requested. If you can't see the whole thing, use the up and down arrows to page through the text. When you're done, click the return arrow to go back to the gallows. Graffiti isn't just an urban, earthbound problem. No, human. Despite the rumor that the ancient Romans invented graffiti on your planet, it was used for ages before by the epigrids. Pompeii was one of the epigrid stops on their first transgalactic voyage. Evidence of their destructive presence was discovered under the volcanic ash that buried that city. Schmierfink is a descendant of those creatures. He has plastered fallen meteors and moon rocks with illegible scribbles and scrawls. He has left doodles on every space vehicle in his path. He has painted on great works of art and architecture, but his messages never mean anything to anybody. No one can read them. His sloppy penmanship is so poor as to be illegible. We caught Schmierfink defacing the dark side of the third moon of Ventura. Just like others of his species, he is always trying to express himself, but can never create anything legible or recognizable. He is charged with sloppy penmanship and defacing public property. Is there any way to reform him? You, human, must decide his fate. Irum Midge from the planet Trid. He was king until his subjects finally deposed him. He cared little for their needs, like food, water, and shelter, and continually tortured them with his silly puns. Finally, starving and tired of having their sensibilities abused, they exiled him to the farthest reaches of space. For years, he wandered the cosmos, until he was finally captured and brought to Ugric to serve out his sentence. Listen as Irum tells his story.
I was ruler of Trid for 23 years, but I guess I never quite measured up. Nope. The economy was just inching along. Crime was everywhere underfoot. Oh, dear, dear. Finally, they sent me packing, and they didn't even let me fill a suitcase.
On Ugric, he continues to compulsively spew forth the horrid puns, and even the other criminals try to avoid him. Now, Midge must be punished. Before you do, however, listen to his final plea.
You've caught me dangling at the end of my rope. I'm just hanging on by a thread. Oh, dear. I don't mean to twine, but of cords I'm innocent. Just don't string me along, huh? 'Cause I can't take any more bad news hanging around the gallows like this.
Irum Midge hopes to set himself free by getting you all tied up. Will you let him? Separated by his jealous siblings at birth, Grebeard goes through life hacking apart language he knows he should leave together. As a young adult, he began to cleave infinitives from their subjects and chop prepositions from their objects. He left a long trail of shattered sentences and gained quite a reputation in the territories for violent behavior toward language. After the destruction of the Emperor's encycloponic orb, the Metaphorians, investigators from my planet, Gaia, brought him in for questioning. At the inquest, Grebeard stated,
I would never try to, out of, for instance, fury or deceit, damage the Emperor's encycloponic orb.
Yes, his own defense sealed his fate. He split the infinitive to damage and the prepositional phrase out of fury or deceit right there on the witness stand. Now, it's up to you, human, to execute his sentence. This is a particularly interesting case. It involves identical twins, otherwise known as the Twisted Sibs, from the planet Apoda. They are wanted in every constellation of the universe. Despite their smooth appearance, the Wigglies are cruel and deceptive. They know that the words not, never, nowhere, and hardly should not be used together, or with other negatives like nobody and nothing. But the sisters insist on making every sentence doubly negative. They also steal oxygen from grandmothers, and they knock down octopods who are learning to walk. They rob transcurrency machines at space stations. The Wigglies always strike at twilight and work alone, never together. By creating alibis for each other and speaking unclearly, they try to wriggle out of responsibility for their crimes. The Wigglies have been arrested, and the jury is having a hard time deciding how to charge them. You can understand why the jury is confused. One sister reported to the court,
"I didn't go nowhere close to the scene of no crime."
The other said,
"I can't hardly understand why you'd charge me. I didn't do nothing. Honest."
"Can you understand?" Striking maliciously, Hyphena of the planet Cilia wrecks writings from one quadrant of the Milky Way to the other. She knows what she should do. Divide words according to their syllables. Divide words after vowels and between double letters. Do not divide words before the final ED. Yet she continues to disregard the rules of language. In her most notorious crime, Hyphena butchered the text of the Intra-Galaxy Charter so mercilessly that the document lost all meaning. Later, when the rhetoricians tried to translate the Charter, war nearly erupted over disputes that had been long settled. Disputes that were provoked once again by the altered Charter. Here's an example of her work.
We agree et hat PC is still valid in principle had been desired to cultures.
After her capture, the rhetoricians charged Hyphena with reckless hyphenation. Don't let her crimes go unchallenged. present, future. Don't set your watch by errati nomadi glockenspiel. Are the events he describes current or outdated? He knows to relate actions that occur at the same time in the same tense, but errati tries to beat fate by shifting tenses. Errati is a gambler. The Hyperboreans suspect that he hustles his opponents. He gets them to place bets on recently played games, of which he already knows the outcome. The Hyperboreans made this recording during a sting operation. It provides some clues.
I shall have it on good authority that this team starts winning. In fact, my other clones stood to make lots of money if they take my advice, you know what I mean? Hey, do you want to place a bet too?
Further investigation led to his arrest. Do you think he's guilty? your powers. The attack against ignorance and the dark is challenging. Anyone who questions this should be sent to be a servant of the prisoners on Urgrick. So long, human.